Akashvani presents Morning News. Good morning, I am Abhishek Mukhopadhyay. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold talks with his British counterpart Keir Starmer in London today. Two countries to also sign free trade agreement. Union Home and Cooperation Minister Amit Shah to launch National Cooperative Policy 2025 in New Delhi today. Gujarat ATS arrests 4 al-Qaeda linked terrorists involved in running fake currency racket. India achieves 20% ethanol blending in petrol, 5 years ahead of its 2030 target. India to resume issuing tourist visas to Chinese nationals today after a gap of 5 years. And in chess, India's Divya Deshmukh beat China's 10 Zhongyi to secure spot in FIDE Women's World Cup final at Batumi in Georgia. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will hold talks with his British counterpart Keir Starmer in London today. The wide-ranging talks are expected to focus on imparting a new momentum in the strategic ties between the two countries. Prime Minister Modi arrived in UK last night on a 2-day visit to expand the bilateral ties in areas of defence, trade and technology. The two countries will also sign a landmark free trade agreement, FTA. The trade deal, firmed up after 3 years of negotiations, is expected to ensure comprehensive market access for Indian goods across all sectors, and India will gain from tariff elimination on about 99% of product categories, covering almost 100% of the trade values. We have a report from a correspondent.
Last evening when Mr. Modi reached London, he was welcomed with much enthusiasm by the Indian diaspora waiting to see him. The Prime Minister shook hands with many as the crowd cheered him and cultural troops played music of different states of India. Some of the persons, including women, got emotional as well seeing Mr. Modi face to face. He also met the winners of No India program. People from all age groups were excited to see him.
मेरा नाम वैदेही है। मोदी जी को हमेशा मैंने टीवी पे ही देखा है। उनके सारे स्पीचेस मैंने हमेशा टीवी पे ही देखे हैं। It is my first time seeing him in person and this is a very exciting moment for me.
बहुत खुशी की बात है कि वो यहाँ पर हमारे बीच रहेंगे। सबके चेहरे पर देखिए यहाँ पर मुस्कान है। बच्चियाँ आई हैं, आपको महिलाएं तो चारों तरफ से आई हैं। 28 स्टेट्स, 8 यूनियन टेरिटरीज से, सब जगह से यहाँ के जितने एसोसिएशन के लोग आए हैं।
I am looking forward to seeing him again and listening to him कि वो क्या बोलने वाले हैं और क्या स्पेशल हमारे इंडिया और यूके रिलेशनशिप के बारे में कुछ बताएंगे। मैं बिजनेस करती हूँ तो मेरे लिए बहुत ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है।
Mr. Modi will interact with Mr. Starmer today on wide-ranging issues to further enhance the economic partnership aimed at fostering prosperity, growth and jobs creation in both countries. Signing of the FTA will further strengthen the historical relations between both the countries. Later in the evening, Mr. Modi will call upon the King Charles III as well. Rajesh Bali, Akashvani News, London.
From London, the Prime Minister will travel to the Maldives tomorrow at the invitation of President Mohamed Muizzu in the second leg of his two-nation visit. Union Home and Cooperation Minister Amit Shah will announce the National Cooperative Policy 2025 at Atal Akshay Urja Bhavan in New Delhi today. The policy, seen as a major reform initiative, is expected to guide India's cooperative movement for the next 2 decades from 2025 to 2045. It will serve as a roadmap to boost grassroots level development and enhance the role of cooperatives in achieving the goal of Viksit Bharat 2047. The new policy aims to make cooperative institutions more inclusive, professionally managed and future-ready. In Gujarat, the Anti-Terrorism Squad ATS has arrested 4 al-Qaeda linked terrorists involved in running fake currency racket. Addressing media in Ahmedabad, ATS DIG Sunil Joshi said that the accused had been actively propagating terrorist ideology through various social media platforms and suspicious applications.
10 जून को एक इन्फॉर्मेशन मिली थी कि 5 इंस्टाग्राम अकाउंट्स हैं, ये अल-कायदा जो एक प्रोस्क्राइब्ड टेररिस्ट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, इसकी विचारधारा का प्रचार प्रसार देश में कर रहे हैं। बहुत लोगों को धार्मिक आधार पे डेमोक्रेसी के विरुद्ध, भारत के विरुद्ध उश्केरनीजनक जो साहित्य है वो इन पे बारंबार शेयर कर रहे हैं। टोटल 4 आरोपियों को आइडेंटिफाई किया गया, इसमें सेंट्रल एजेंसियों का कोऑर्डिनेशन में बहुत महत्व का योगदान रहा।
Mr. Joshi added that the accused have been charged under various sections of the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act UAPA and various sections of the new Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita BNS. 2 of the accused were produced in court yesterday and remanded to 14 days custody, while the remaining accused will be presented before the court today. Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said that India successfully achieved 20% ethanol blending in petrol in 2025, 5 years ahead of its original target set for 2030. Highlighting the country's clean energy progress, the minister noted that ethanol blending in petrol has risen from just 1.5% in 2014 to 20% in 2025, a nearly 13-fold increase over 11 years. Mr. Puri emphasized that the shift towards ethanol-blended fuel has not only bolstered energy security, but also led to significant economic and environmental benefits. Ethanol production has surged from 38 crore litres in 2014 to 661.1 crore litres by June 2025. This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on X handle at AIR News Alerts. And for details of stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and download news on AIR app. India will resume issuing tourist visas to Chinese citizens from today after a gap of 5 years. In a social media post, Indian Embassy in Beijing said that the Chinese citizens can apply for a tourist visa to India after completing an online application, scheduling an appointment and personally submitting their passport and other required documents to the Indian visa application centers in Beijing, Shanghai and Guangzhou. More in this report.
The development comes at a time when both the countries are trying to ease tensions and improve ties that plummeted following the Galwan Valley clashes in 2020. The two sides had also decided to resume Kailash Mansarovar Yatra this summer. The direct air services and Kailash Mansarovar Yatra were suspended since the COVID pandemic and Galwan crisis. The two countries recognized that 2025, being the 75th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between India and China, should be utilized to redouble diplomacy efforts to restore mutual trust and confidence among the public. In addition to this, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar visited China this month, his first trip to the neighboring country in 5 years. Sanyukta Yadav, Akashvani News, Delhi.
India and China reviewed the situation in the border areas at the 34th meeting of the Working Mechanism for Consultation and Coordination on India-China Border Affairs held in New Delhi yesterday. The Indian delegation was led by Joint Secretary East Asia Gauranga Lal Das. The Chinese delegation was led by Director General of the Boundary and Oceanic Affairs Department of the Chinese Foreign Affairs Ministry, Hong Liang. They expressed satisfaction with the general prevalence of peace and tranquility in the border areas, leading to gradual normalization of bilateral relations. India and Israel have agreed to further strengthen bilateral defense cooperation with a long-term perspective. Defense Secretary Rajesh Kumar Singh held a bilateral meeting with Director General of Israel, Minister of Defense Major General Amir Baram in New Delhi yesterday. The Minister of Defense in a statement said that during their meeting they concurred to work towards developing an institutional framework for further deepening of defense ties. A team of 2 Indian specialists and a nursing assistant landed in Dhaka yesterday to help with the treatment of the victims of the plane crash tragedy of 21st July in Bangladesh. They will begin their work at a designated hospital treating these patients from today. Ukrainian and Russian delegations held a third round of peace talks in Istanbul yesterday. The meeting lasted less than an hour, ended with both sides agreeing to a prisoner swap. Rustem Umerov, Secretary of Ukraine's National Security and Defense Council, led Kyiv's delegation, said they proposed a summit between President Volodymyr Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin before the end of August. In the United States, Trump administration has unveiled its Artificial Intelligence AI Action Plan aimed at reshaping the country's AI landscape. President Donald Trump signed 3 sweeping executive orders as part of a broader campaign to make the U.S. an AI export powerhouse. The plan proposes to cut back environmental regulations to speed up the construction of AI supercomputers while promoting the sale of U.S.-made AI technologies at home and abroad. Karkadaka Babu Bali, the significant Hindu ritual held in memory of departed ancestors, commenced in Kerala during the early hours today. Our correspondent reports that the rituals have been observed as a mass event at various temples and riverbanks across the state.
The ritual is performed on the new moon day, Amavasi of the Malayalam month Karkidakam. Devotees, men, women and children offer ritualistic homage called Bali to their ancestors on this sacred day. Prominent gatherings are being witnessed at the banks of Periyar River in Aluva and various coastal locations such as Papanasham, Varkala, Tiruvallam, Shankumukham and Varakal beaches from the early morning. Efforts are underway to maintain green protocol during the rituals. Civic bodies and district administrations have issued necessary guidelines to ensure an eco-friendly observance. M. Smithy, Agashwani News, Thiruvananthapuram.
Now news from the world of sports.
In chess, India's Divya Deshmukh thrashed China's Tan Zhongyi 1.5-0.5 in the semi-finals of the FIDE Women's World Cup 2025 to secure a spot in the final in Batumi, Georgia. With this win, Deshmukh also claimed a spot in the candidates tournament set to happen in 2026, while also securing her first Grandmaster norm. The 19-year-old also became the first Indian to enter the final of FIDE Women's World Cup. Divya will take on the winner of the second semi-final played between top seed China's Lei Tingzhe and India number 1 Koneru Hampi. In cricket, India will resume their first innings against hosts England on day 2 of the 4th test of the Anderson Tendulkar Trophy series at Old Trafford in Manchester today. The match will begin at 3:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Earlier, bad light brought early stumps on day 1 with India reaching 264 for 4 in 83 overs. Currently, visitors are trailing 1-2 in the 5-match series. In football, the Durand Cup 2025 tournament got underway with East Bengal beating South United Football Club 5-0 in the opener at the Vivekananda Yuba Bharati Krirangan in Kolkata yesterday. On to badminton, India's PV Sindhu scripted a thrilling win over Japan's Tomoka Miyazaki 2-1 and stormed into the women's singles pre-quarterfinals at the China Open 2025 in Changzhou. In another women's singles clash, India's Unnati Huda knocked out Scottish shuttler Kirsty Gilmore 2-0 to enter the pre-quarterfinals. With Sanyukta's report, Ashish Abraham, Akashwani News, Delhi.
India Meteorological Department has forecast very heavy to extremely heavy rainfall over coastal Karnataka, Konkan, Goa and Madhya Maharashtra today. It also predicted heavy to very heavy rainfall over Chhattisgarh, coastal Andhra Pradesh, Gangetic West Bengal, Odisha, South Interior Karnataka and Telangana today. And now, for a look at today's newspapers, it's over to Renu Kataria.
Thank you, Abhishek. Parliament deadlock continues amid ruckus, leads the statesman. Operation Sindhu debate in both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha next week. Prime Minister may speak, reports the Economic Times. Election Commission begins preparations to hold Vice President polls. Date soon, says the Asian Age. Mandavia introduces National Sports Governance Bill, writes the Pioneer. 15 lakh Bihar voters yet to submit form, says Election Commission, leads the Hindu. Theatre doyen Ratan Thiem, whose searing plays put Manipur on the world stage, passes away at 76, informs the Indian Express. And finally, according to a Lancet study, new research, 7,000 steps a day enough to mitigate key health concerns, reports the Hindustan Times. And with that, it's back to you, Abhishek.
Thank you, Renu. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to hold talks with his British counterpart Keir Starmer in London today. 2 countries to also sign free trade agreement. Union Home and Corporation Minister Amit Shah to launch National Cooperative Policy 2025 in New Delhi today. Gujarat ATS arrests 4 al-Qaeda linked terrorists involved in running fake currency racket. India achieves 20% ethanol blending in petrol 5 years ahead of its 2030 target. India to resume issuing tourist visas to Chinese nationals today after a gap of 5 years. And in chess, India's Divya Deshmukh beat China's Zhongyi to secure spot in FIDE Women's World Cup final at Batumi in Georgia. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.